Come and diagnose this vehicle after the client bought in a control board, a new control board, and they asked me to come and diagnose it. But when I diagnosed it, I found out this fault. So you can see it's saying cam sensor A no pulse, and you can see all these faults, and you can see mass airflow sensor. So what I'll do now is, I'm not searching with the fault, but I'm going straight ahead and test the circuit. So with my multimeter here, I turn my voltage on with my multimeter and test for the 5 volts is a reference voltage. So what I'll do now is I'll be testing for my power, because most of the fault code is voltage low and no pulses. So this is the cam sensor A, which is the intake cam sensor, and for that cam sensor I have to get 1 power, ground, and 5 volts reference, and 5 volts, which is the sensor voltage. So now I'll be testing for my voltage on this circuit. So I'll test for the first pin. Oh no, let me go to my wiring diagram first. So when I go to my wiring diagram, you can see, so this is the MAF sensor. And pin 1 goes to this thing. So pin 1 goes to this junction, and this is my cam sensor my cam sensor A, and also pin 1 goes to here. So that means it's a power issue. So it's either the fuse, or maybe the circuit, or maybe something the power is not coming through. So let me test for my A, which is red and yellow. Let me test for it and see the first one, and see if I'll be able to get. So there is it. That's pin 1, and I'm getting 0.05 amps, and that's supposed to let the test light come on. But the test light doesn't come on. So let me test my pin 1 also on this point, and pin 1 supposed to be this point, this pin, and when I test it, I'm not getting anything, and when I test, there is no power. And let me test pin 1 on this socket, which is the camshaft sensor position B. So you can see I'm getting 11 volts. So let me test it, and I'm getting the power now. So what I'll do now is, it's 2 things. It's either I jump power to the sensors and try and erase the fault code and check if it will go off. If not, then that means I have to dig in further and find for the fuse connecting those junction, or find for that junction, which says that junction is at, so here is it, lower left front of engine compartment. So I'll check lower left front of the engine compartment, but for now I have to jump it or test my fuses and see. Then I'll erase the fault code and scan the system again and see if it will go off. So this is pin 1, and my pin 1 is the yellow and black. So you can see yellow and black. So this is pin 1. This is rather the pin 1, which is the thick wire, which means it sends power to the sensor. So I'll test that one and see if I'll get anything, and there is no voltage. So let me try it, and the test light is not coming on. So what I'll do now is, I'll probe the back of it. And use my test light to give it ground. Use my test light to give it power. Probe the back of it. Use my test light to give it power. Then erase all the fault code and start the vehicle and see. Okay, now so to play safe, I've connected my test light to battery positive and connected it back to the pin 1 of the map sensor, and that pin 1 also connect to pin 1 on the cam sensor B. So now what I'll do is I'll erase all the fault code and recycle the ignition. Recycle the ignition. So recycle the ignition and rescan the fault code again. So let me scan the fault code. Wow, and there is no fault code. So now that means I have to find for that junction, and there is no fault code. And this car truly is having a difficult starting, and now there is no fault code in the system. So now what I'll do is I'll try and start the vehicle, and now the map sensor and everything is working. Okay, so now I'll let the vehicle run for a while and check 1 or 2 things, then turn it off. So we'll scan the system again and see what fault code I'll be getting after running it. Okay, so it's now temporal fault code. So what I'll do now is I'll find for the junction at which the problem is, then I'll fix that one. So now what I've done is, you can see I'm getting almost battery voltage on this sensor because of the test light that I've plugged here. So when I take the test lights out, it will go to 0 volts. So when I take it in, when I plug it in, it comes. So what I'll do is I'll do it direct, and now you can see I'm getting direct battery voltage on it. So now the sensors are safe. That means that's the correct. So now let me check. Let me read the fault code again and see if all of them will go to temporal. Sorry, permanent rather. So you can get permanent, then temporal. That means when I erase the fault code, it will go off. So let me erase the fault code for it to go off, and the crank sensor will come up again because I've not plugged it yet. So what I'll do now is I'll plug the crank sensor and turn off the key and recycle the ignition. So I'll recycle the ignition, and that's the. So I'll read the fault code again, and there is no fault. Now read it again and see if there will be any fault, and there is no fault. So now I'll try and start the vehicle direct. I'm praying my still having this difficult starting. So that will be another diagnosing. So now you can see the check engine light hasn't come on yet. The reason why the first one it came on was because the test light wasn't powerful enough. So the test light couldn't give it the amount of power it needs. So now you can see it's giving me timing issue, which says the cam A and crank sensor incorrect phase detected. So that means the car is having a timing issue that has to be sorted out. So that means they have to check the cam and crank sensor. They have to check the timing of the vehicle again. But for now, there is no fault code related to all the problems that I came to meet. So it's not a control board issue. So they would have changed the control board and still have the same problem. So now I'll speak to the shop to re-time the vehicle again. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. And now the check engine light is not on again. Let me turn it off and turn it back on and rescan the vehicle. Again. So let me go back, rescan it again, and I'll still have only the timing issue. So this is something related to the timing. So I'll tell them to do it. So this I don't even need to put any scope on it to check the time, how advanced it is. So all I need to do is to tell the shop to retime the vehicle again. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. So after several hours of research and diagnosing, finding the problem, now I have to find a solution. So I traced to this, so you can remember this fault or the ELD system was high. So what I've done is I've come to check, and it was under the dash, left side of the end dash. So you can see that I'm having fuse 13, which is 15 amps, and I went and checked the fuses. So I came to check, and you can see fuse 13 is empty, which is the last fuse over there. So I'll place in a fuse and check if the problem will be solved. So now after fixing the 15 amp, I'll test the fuse, and the test light is working. So what I'll do now is I'll scan the vehicle again and erase all the fault code. So read all the fault code and go back and erase it. So it will ask me to turn off the key. It will ask me to turn it on again and read the fault code again, and there is no fault. So I don't know why they took out that fuse. So now the problem is fixed. So let me start the vehicle. It's having difficult starting because of the timing, and now you can see there's no check engine light on, and even if I read the fault code, it only gives me the cam and crank facer issue. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. So now the problem is fixed.